And here we are.
That's the ghost from Pac-Man.
Up early
Ghost from Pac-Man.
on our second hour of YouTube videos.
Look at it.
Wow. Hey everybody, I'm Hannah and I'm trying to be a better mom. And if you're a working parent like me, you understand that weekends with kids are precious commodities. It is very precious time. And for me, as a working parent with a working spouse, what I've noticed is what we end up doing on the weekends is I plan the entire What I've noticed happens on the weekends is I end up planning everything. And what I end up planning is basically cramming in all the errands that I couldn't run during the week into the weekend with my kids. And now that my kids are a little bit older and a little bit more vocal about their wants and needs, I'm starting to realize that they look forward all week to the weekend and having that quality time with their parents. And the way that I've been planning the weekends is not spending quality time together. So I want to try something. I want to have my kids plan an entire weekend for us. And I want to do this because first of all, I just want to see what activities they're interested in that we can implement into future weekends. And second, I want to see what their ideal weekend looks like. So let's try it. So we're gonna start this weekend on Friday night because let's be real, the weekend starts Friday pretty much after work and school, right?
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do tonight, guys? Where are we gonna go eat?
Super delicious.
So the first thing they ask Friday night is to go to the restaurant with the tomato on the sign. It was like totally hopping on a Friday night. There was a 45-minute wait to get a table, but let me tell you, it was so worth it. That salad, man, like salad on salad on salad. I was so happy. My kids were stoked. They have a soft serve machine. This is not a plug for Soup Plantation, I swear. I was just so happy with it. You know, it's like something so simple and tiny as trying out a new restaurant that's kind of unique and something they've never tried before, but they were really grateful for it. So we didn't have much time after to do much of anything that evening. So the kids requested that we rent a movie at home and have family movie night on the couch, which was just so pure. We watched Neverending Story. Wyatt fell asleep on my chest. It was like the perfect night. How's the movie? So far, so good. So Saturday morning, we wake up and it is just gnarly. Like my kids are being
poop buckets.
It was one of those mornings, and I don't know if any of you guys out there have experienced this, where your kids wake up and just everything you say is wrong. Like Wyatt asked for a waffle for breakfast. I got him a waffle. He asked for some whipped cream on it. I put some whipped cream on. He drops to the floor shrieking because I put the whipped cream on that he asked for, made me wipe it off, then put the whipped cream back on. And it was just like, oh my God, eat your waffle or don't get anything. I'm so over this. So I actually decided to put this little test on pause for the first half of Saturday until my kids could get their act together. Any other parent who disciplines their kids will understand that it's a really guilty feeling when I have to cancel stuff or take things away from them. But ultimately, it's what they needed in the moment to realize that that behavior is not acceptable. So Saturday, second half of Saturday, they first asked if they could go to the park. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. And I actually took that time to go and play with them on the play equipment. I looked pretty weird and awkward. I noticed that I tend to kind of like stand back and watch them play, but I really wanted to take this time to be involved with them. It was so much fun. They got out all this pent-up energy that I think maybe had been the cause of earlier that day. So after the park, my kids were literally full of wood chips in every crevice of their body. So we needed to do bath time. On the way home, Wyatt, my fancy boy, he's literally the fanciest child I've ever met. He is like a rich 90-year-old woman in a little baby's body. He asked for a spa night. He wanted to go pick up bath bombs, lotion, wear his bathrobe, do all that stuff, and just be very fancy that night. My kids are so weird. The one compromise I had to make was he is obsessed with Lush and Lush bath bombs, but I don't think he realizes that mom doesn't have that kind of flow to get $8 baths every day. So So we ended up compromising and going to Target and buying a big pack of mini bath bombs. And so it actually worked out perfectly because each kid could hold their own bath bomb and fizzle it. It's always this huge fight over who gets to hold the bath bomb for what amount of time when it's fizzling. We did the bath, we did the rose, we did the lotion. It was very, very fancy. They said that their bath smelled delicious and they were actually excited to be in the bath and be clean for once, which was much appreciated. So while Saturday started out being a total fiasco, it actually ended up being amazing and fun, and I was really looking forward to Sunday. On our way! Woohoo! So Sunday, final day. I knew exactly what was coming on Sunday because it's something my kids ask for constantly, and I knew they were going to ask, and they delivered. They asked to spend the day at my parents' house. So my kids really wanted to bring their costumes to my parents' house to show my sister Stella, because this year Halloween fell on a Tuesday, and so they weren't going to be able to spend time with her that day, and she wouldn't be able to see their costumes live and in person, which is apparently very important when you're 5 years old and 2 years old. So we packed their costumes, got in the car. They asked to stop for brunch. Okay, we're here at brunch, and I feel very awkward vlogging right now. I don't know if this is me rubbing off on my kids or if my kids are just bougie as heck. Because what 5-year-old kid asks for brunch? Like, what 5-year-old kid even knows what brunch is? I don't know where that came from. So we are here at my parents' house right now, and for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to Halloween, which is this coming week, Jackson's been begging to go trick-or-treating with my family. But the issue is on Halloween, Matt and I both work, and by the time we're off work and home, it's too late for us to drive all the way to my parents' house. So he asked while we're here if he can go trick-or-treating with my family. And I don't exactly know how we're gonna pull this off, but I'm sure as heck gonna try. So we get on their costumes, we go out, and we start ringing on doorbells, and everyone's reaction is kind of like,
what's this? Is today Halloween?
But it's not quite Halloween yet, is it?
all of their neighbors went rummaging for whatever they could find in their pantries, cabinets, whatever they could find to give my kids in their Halloween buckets. And so my kids ended up with loot bags full of the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life.
How's that sweet for you?
And they were so grateful for it. It was so cute. Every time Jackson would get something new in his basket, he'd be like,
Tuna. I think we can have a tuna root.
Yeah, I'm gonna have this on Monday.
A tuna root.
and it was so precious. So I actually ended up, when they're going through like trading their candy and like trying to trade a can of lentils for a can of olives, I actually went and I got some candy for them. It just encompassed everything I love about my kids. They're weird, they're funny, they're totally out there. And even though they can be little butt heads sometimes, at the end of the day, they're very genuinely sweet kids. So if you want to try this, I would highly recommend it. It was awesome for us. And if you want to, trust your kids and let go of the reins a little bit, I would highly recommend it. Not only will you learn that there are more fun ways to spend quality time together, I think it'll help you realize just how sweet your kids can be. Because that's what it did for me. So that's all I got for today. I'm Hannah, a semi-okay cool mom. And if you tried this experiment, leave a comment and let me know how it went. Or you can always text me. This is a real number. I do read every single text, but I don't necessarily respond because I do get a lot of them. And if you guys have an idea for something for me to try in a future episode, leave that in the comments too. And if you'll please excuse me, I literally got no errands done this weekend. My refrigerator has no food in it and I need to go to the grocery store stat. Till next time.